Keeping it real, who that sports pod, legendary coach Rock, go 17, let's rock. Who that? Boss kick, black and gold, let's go. First and goal, from the one, best believe, we go punch. Punching in, hit them punch, with them Saints, watch us march. Down the field, down your throat, keeping it real, who that sports. Breaking news, interviews, open lines just for you. Call in, join in. Who that nation? How you doing? Come on in. Take a seat. Sit back. Relax. Put your feet up. Have a drink. And let's talk. Say football. Y'all know what time it is. Time to keep it real. Let's go. Family, family, family. The doors are not open. So come on in. What's going on, family? It's your boy, Dolph Jackson. This is the Keeping It Real Who That Sports Podcast, brought to you by the Come On In Sports Network. Well, family, the 2025 New Orleans Saints preseason is over. And in 2 weeks from today, the Kellen Moore regime will officially begin with the Week 1 battle against the Arizona Cardinals. But before the Cardinals come to town, the Saints have some real big questions to answer. The top question, the marquee question, the main question: who would be the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints? What have we learned during the preseason about the two young men vying to be the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints? For one thing, they have a fan base that is split. You have your Shuck supporters and you have your Rattler supporters. Shuck supporters, each and every single time Spencer Rattler throws a bad ball, gets sacked, fumbles the ball, they are cheering, they are applauding, they are happy because that justifies their guy in their eyes. And then for the Rattler supporters, it's the same thing, just reverse. But there's something flawed there. Family, why the hell are we split? We should be cheering for both of these young men. Whoever gets the nod, whoever gets the call, we should be behind them 100%. We should not be waiting or hoping for them to fail so the next guy can come in. Instead, what we should be hoping and wanting is whoever starts the season is able to improve each and every single week, and by season's end has proved all the naysayers and doubters wrong around the country and here in Who That Nation, because it's many of you. Many say right now these two kids are not the future based off a preseason. No one knew Bo Nix was going to turn into Bo Nix. The Bo Nix that ended the season last year for the Broncos. It took time for him to get there, though. Jaden Daniels, it took time for him to get there. C.J. Stroud, his first year, it took time for him to get there. All the greats, Peyton Manning, it took time for him to get there. Kurt Warner, it took time for him to get there. Whoever is named the starter, let's let them write a complete book and then make our judgment. Then we will have the necessary ammunition to say if or if not, this young man is the answer in the future going forward at the quarterback position for the New Orleans Saints. Spencer Rattler has had a consistent training camp in the preseason game. In the preseason games, he and Shuck have basically battled to a standstill. This preseason, we have watched both of these young men overcome adversity, something that you will want to see from a young quarterback. They both have turned the ball over. They both have came back after a turnover and led drives to answer that mistake that they made. They both have flashes where they look real good, and they both have flashes where they look like very inexperienced young quarterbacks, which is to be expected. So as we wait eagerly for Coach Kellen Moore and his staff to make the decision on who would be the Saints starting quarterback for 2025, let's all come together and understand and realize, hey, we are the New Orleans Saints. We are Who Dat Nation. And whoever dons this black and gold, whoever starts, we're supporting them. Whoever's the backups, we're supporting them. Now, that's not to be misconstrued or misunderstood that, hey, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you won't hear from Who Dat Nation, because you will hear from us. We won't sugarcoat it. We're going to say exactly how we feel. We're going to say exactly what we see. And we are very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable. But it's time to put this pettiness away. Shout out to Jono, man, because Jono, this past week, man, put up a screenshot of the polls that he ran. The first week, after Shuck against the Chargers, came back after that intercept he threw and threw a beautiful pass to Mason Tipton on a beautiful route ran by Mason Tipton. And everybody was like, Shuck should be the starting quarterback. Then last week, it was Rattler's turn when he rallied the team down from 2 scores to tie the game and in the game in the tie, because it's preseason and really we don't need overtime in preseason. I'm so glad they went to that. And then this past Saturday, both of these kids had their moments and both of them had their rough moments. They're young. They're going to make mistakes. The best quarterbacks in the National Football League make mistakes. Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. No, these kids are not those players. Those players are those players. But they weren't those players until they were allowed to write their book. And that's what we have to allow. We have to allow these kids to write their book. There are a lot of battles that will be going on for the New Orleans Saints besides quarterback. One question is, who becomes that number 4 wide receiver, family? Who is the number 4 wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints? Would it be Cedric Wilson Jr.? Will it be Brandon Cooks? Will it be Dante Pettis? Or should I say number 5 wide receiver? Because we already know Shaheed will be out there. Olave, Valet will be out there. Those 3, you traded 4 and 7. Valet's on this team. Is Brandon Cooks such a lot? Has Mason Tipton not made this team? So Mason Tipton is 4. Now it comes down to, are the Saints keeping 5 or 6 wide receivers? I believe they keep 5. If they keep 6, I think it's an indictment on the tight end room. We still have no indication when Foster Monroe or Taysom Hill will make a return to this team. Hell, we don't even know if Taysom Hill would make it back to this team. I know he was in the dome yesterday on the sideline, but would he even make this team? Is he even capable, healthy enough to play this season? Will the Saints start him on the short-term injury reserve, him and Foster Moreau? If that's the case, I believe the Saints have to go out. Cut down day. Starting right now, if teams are letting tight ends go, you have to start scurrying around the league. They have to get better options at tight end. One tight end that I think has earned the right to be on this team or to be considered is Trayton Welch. I think Trayton Welch has earned to be in the conversation of making a 53-man roster. Do I think there are upgrades around the league that the Saints can possibly find better options? Yes, I do. But the young man has earned the right to be considered for the 53-man roster. He has been the most productive tight end this preseason, the offseason, not named Juwan Johnson for the Saints. Now, let's talk about the receiver room. The running back room. In the running back room, we know Alvin Locke. There's nothing to talk about. Kendre Miller, we've been saying it all training camp. Shout out to RFS Saints host, my brother on the Come On In Sports Network, Mr. Zachary Bell, and Zach and myself and my co-host here at the Keeping It Real Who That Sports podcast have been talking. Coach Rock, Kendre Miller's the number 2 running back on this team. It's not even close. But yesterday, we finally got our chance to see rookie running back Devin Neal from the University of Kansas. As here you see Tyler Shuck with the RPO, showing the ability that many don't give him credit for. Shuck runs like a 4.63. So he's not slow. He can get around that edge as you see here. But Devin Neal yesterday averaged, I believe, like 5 yards per carry yesterday. Let's see. Devin Neal yesterday, he caught 2 passes yesterday, Devin Neal, for 10 yards. And on the ground, Devin Neal rushed the ball 5 times for 20 yards. That's 4 yards a carry. Showed power, explosiveness, the stuff that we saw out of him at the University of Kansas, the stuff that got us excited to get this kid in the 6th round. But now becomes the big question. Do the Saints chance exposing him on the market, on the free agent market? How strong of a chance is there that another team picks him up? If another team liked him, liked his tape coming out of college into the draft, and they finally got to see him yesterday, there is nothing he did yesterday that would say, hey, he does not warrant it a position or a look on the 2025 roster for whichever team is fortunate enough and smart enough to give him an opportunity. I believe if the Saints do let him go, I believe another team is going to swoop in. They're going to claim him. They're going to pick him up. Now, if Devin Neal is kept, it comes down to 3 veterans. Velus Jones Jr., Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Cam Akers. Remember, before Devin Neal suffered the injury, he had been praised by Coach Moore for his ability to pick up the blitz, to protect the quarterback. As Coach said, that's a rare trait for a young running back coming into the National Football League. So Devin Neal is one of the players that I'm going to watch closely to see what decision does this Saints staff make. And if Devin Neal is kept and it comes down to the three veterans, Velus Jones Jr., Cam Akers, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Velus Jones Jr., I like him a lot, the things that he can bring on special teams. I like what Clyde does. Clyde, veteran, can catch the ball out the backfield, can pick up the blitz. Does this team keep 5 running backs? If they keep 5, to me, that's the 5th would be Velus Jones Jr. because of his versatility and what he will bring you on the special teams. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Devin Neal was on, he got a tackle, assisted tackle on the kickoff return. He was on the kick team, the kick coverage team yesterday. So Devin Neal jumping in on special teams now with his running ability and his ability to catch the ball. I just kind of think that the Saints may not want to chance losing this young man. So again, like you, that's the area we're going to be watching. As here you see a great play by the defense there, a tip ball right there, which was picked off by Quincy Riley, who just always seems to be around the ball. And that, my friend, is why we have to go in the free agent market. We have to scurry the wire for better backups on the offensive line. The depth on the offensive line, family, is just atrocious right now. It is not something that I look forward to. It is not something that I believe that this team is sound at. If the starters go down, we are in deep trouble, just like the last several years. We need adequate, above average, hell, we even need average offensive line depth. Because right now, I don't think we have it at all. And the same could be said for the backup defensive line. I think you're going to have some really, really tough decisions there. For one, you have Jonah Williams, who was brought in. Of course, he's familiar with Coach Staley's system, and he's been looking good this preseason. They brought in Jonathan Bullard just to help against the run. As you see, he gets in there right there, along with, and that young man right there from the undrafted free agent, that is, what's the kid's name? Not Black man. Let's see. Oh, let me look at it so I know it. That is, come on, Dolph. I'm looking it up, finally. The kid's name slips my mind. No. Joshine Davis. Excuse me. Now, remember, Joshine Davis is a player whose name was ringing in training camp. Again, slowed by injuries. Him and Devin Neal. But as you see him in there right now. Joshine Davis is explosive. Very explosive coming off that edge, family. So most definitely, he is a player, I think, if you expose him to the free agent market and you're able to get him back, I believe that it would be an asset to get this young man on the practice squad. And quite frankly, I believe that if the kid was healthy, that we'll really be possibly talking about this young man making the 53-man roster. And let me just say this. You heard me say it yesterday during the telecast, and I'm going to say it again. If Blake Grupe misses a field goal this season, I am shocked, I am surprised, and I am disappointed. Why? Because since last season, this kid has been locked in, and he has been locked in this entire offseason, this entire preseason. Preseason games and training camp, Blake Grupe has missed one field goal in training camp. That's it. And also, shout out to Charlie Smith. Remember when it was said that, hey, Charlie Smith was only 5 or 10 doing kicks in training camp, then goes into the Chargers game, and he has not missed a kick since. Looking really good. So, if something works, and I hope nothing happens to Grupe, because I think he's an automatic. I think he's we crossed the 50, it's an automatic 3 with Grupe to me. I think it's an automatic 3. So, if something happens to Grupe, Charlie Smith, you got Charlie Smith you can bring up. Staying with what I was talking about on the defensive front. You saw yesterday, you've seen the last 2 weeks, you heard about the inter-squad scrimmage with the Rams, and you see why Colin Saunders is no longer with the New Orleans Saints. That's because of the development of Christian Boyd. Shout out the defensive line coach, Bo Davis, who has done a tremendous job with that defensive front. Again, it's just preseason, but we see a lot. Now, right there, you saw that throw right there. I think it was a good throw by Shuck, but I would like to see him keep that ball a little lower and give the tight end an opportunity to get some yak yards after the catch there. But yesterday, looking at the leaders from yesterday, on the Saints defense. Yesterday, man, let's talk about Jonah Sanker. I got to. And there's Jonah Williams right there. Look at that play by Jonah Williams right there. Look at it. I'm telling you, Jonah Williams, he's a keeper. He's a player. Look at that. So, Jonah Sanker yesterday tied for the team's lead in tackles. He had 9 tackles, 6 solo. He was tied with Rajon Wright, who also had 7 solo tackles and 9 total tackles yesterday. One thing is evident when you look at Jonah Sanker. One, I don't know how the hell he lasted till the 4th round. But 2, he is like Zach said yesterday, he is like a heat-seeking missile. When he sees it and goes, he arrives. And like the old saying goes, when he arrives with bad intention. That young man's future, to me, is bright. I want to see him improve in his coverage skills, which I think he will. But Jonas Sanker, my God, he seems to be a find for the New Orleans Saints. Now, sticking with the defensive front, Vernon Broughton. A lot of people saying, what, he was overrated. He was overdrafted. Yesterday, watch the entirety of that game and pay attention to number 91. You saw him with good fits against the run. You saw him get after the quarterback, with quarterback pressures. I believe he had a half a sack yesterday. I believe he did. I could have swore he had a half a sack yesterday. Let me go to ESPN. Look at these stats. Yeah, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he had a sack yesterday. Let's see. Vernon Broughton yesterday, family. Okay. Vernon Broughton yesterday, family. All right. All right. Vernon Broughton yesterday was credited with 2 tackles, 1 solo. All right. That's what he was credited with yesterday. He had 2 hits on the quarterback yesterday. So the pressure was there yesterday. He did his job. He did his job yesterday. So Vernon Broughton, family yesterday showed why the Saints selected him in the 3rd round. I believe it's going to come down to playing time, getting the reps and improving. Again, the Saints getting Bo Davis to come in here and coach this defensive line, man, was really, really one of the better moves that this team made this offseason. So they really put together, I believe, a really good staff, a staff that's going to work with these young players and these veterans, a staff that is going to hone in on the talents of these young men and help them bring it to the forefront. And the thing is, what you can see, you have a team that is buying in to Coach Kelly Moore and everything that he is trying to install into this new team. It's a new culture. It's a new time. It's a new era. A lot of us were screaming and asking for, hey, we need change. We need to blow it up where it's here. We got to be patient, though, family. Each and every single Sunday is not going to be pretty. But here's what I'm looking for. And let me know in the comments, family, what you think about some of the things we're discussing today. But what do you think, family? What are you looking for from the 2025 New Orleans Saints? One thing I know that I'm wishing for and hoping for that we need is health. We got to get this offensive line healthy. We can't afford to lose our top 2, top 3 wide receivers, our top running back, our top linebackers, our starting safeties, our starting corner. We can't afford to do that. But what I'm looking forward to from the 2025 New Orleans Saints is I want a team that goes out each and every week that will fight, a team that will battle tooth and nail to the end, a team that is in each and every single game in the final minutes, a team that has an opportunity to win each and every game that they participate in, week in and week out. Effort and hustle. If this team gives effort and hustle each and every single week, and they continue to grow from the tutelage of their coaches, by season's end, I believe the arrow will be turning up for the New Orleans Saints. Now, at the end of the show yesterday, I got a little emotional, and I had my little rant, and I see the hell with all the national pundits. Everyone saying the Saints are going to be the worst team in the National Football League, and I'm going to stand 10 toes on it because we won't be. Saints ain't going 1-16. Saints ain't going 2-15, 3-14, 4-13. They're not even going 5-12 again. I know a lot of people say, well, hell, they go 6-11. I'm flipping at me. I know. Call me crazy. It's your boy Dolph. Call me what you want. But guess what? 11-6. Yeah, I called it. 11-6. Now the Saints' first 4 games is a gauntlet. Cardinals, Seattle, got Buffalo. I believe you got the Niners in there. So what? You got the lineup. You got the play. Is it out? Is it impossible for the Saints to defeat any of those teams? Hell no. If the Saints come out of those first 4 games 2-2, success. success. But in case they come out 3-1. If they come out 3-1, then what? Hell, 4-0. I know what you're saying. Man, what's Dolph on early this morning? Dolph must be on Coach Oatmeal this morning. No, I'm not. But what I'm on is reality and what I think this team can do. This team is more talented than people are giving it credit for. This team does need to upgrade its depth on the offensive line. I think this team does need to go out and possibly look. Not possibly. This team does need to go out and try to find another tight end. This team may need to bring in another center, another guard. Again, we need a tackle. I'm not comfortable with Landon Young as the backup tackle. I'm not. Good guy. But I think we Saints can do better. And again, there will be some surprise cuts. There will be some surprise cuts. There will be some good football players let go today, tomorrow, and Tuesday by the deadline, which is 3 p.m. Eastern, I believe 3 p.m. Eastern time, which of course is 2 p.m. Central time. There will be some good football players that will be let go. The tangible is this, family. Embrace the rebuild. Buckle up. Let's enjoy the journey that this team is about to take us on. I believe the Saints hired the right man for the job. Again, when his name was mentioned in the coach's search, I had my doubts. I wondered, could Kellen Moore command a run? Could he have to get the respect of his team? He has answered that with flying colors so far. But now, in just 2 weeks, September the 7th, the honeymoon's over. He is going to be judged by every call that he makes, every failed play that this offense runs, every turnover that this offense does, every challenge that he makes or doesn't make, every lineup switch that he makes. Everything now goes under a microscope for Kellen Moore. But there's one thing that Kellen Moore has shown me. He is prepared for the moment. He is ready for the moment. Kellen Moore has been preparing for this moment maybe his entire life since he understood the game of football. One of the most decorated college football players in history. NFL veteran. Bright young mind, offensive coordinator. Coming off a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. A coach that is known for adjusting his system around the talents of his players instead of trying to force his players' talents into his system. So Saints fall 19-28 in the season finale to the Denver Broncos. And again, family, like you, I eagerly await the announcement of who will be the New Orleans Saints starting quarterback. But not more importantly, but also just as important, who will they be throwing the ball to other than Olave, Shaheed, Bailey, Tipton, Cedric Wilson Jr., Brandon Cooks. I believe Calvin Austin Jr. will be re-signed to the practice squad. Just didn't do enough to make the team. Cooks, Pettis, who gets that last spot, that number 5 receiver slot. If the Saints only keep 5. If they keep 6, I believe they both make the team. I believe Pettis, if they keep 6 and this Cooks is 5, I believe you keep Pettis over Cedric Wilson Jr. because of what he can do for you in the return game on special teams. So we shall see, family. I'm Dolph Jackson. This is the Keeping It Real Who That Sports podcast, and we're brought to you by the Come On In Sports Network. Listen, family, we'll be with you this week, Zach and myself on RFS Saints in the Keeping It Real Who That Sports podcast of the week, as we will dive into the Saints' decision at quarterback, look at the initial 53-man roster, because that initial 53-man roster, I can guarantee you, will not be the 53-man roster that the New Orleans Saints walk in to week 1 with. It can't be. This team has to improve its depth. So with that being said, family, I want you all to enjoy the rest of your day. Hey, enjoy it, baby, because we got this Sunday, today, and next Sunday. Then after that, baby, it's Saint football all the way through February. Listen, family, like always, hit that like button, subscribe, and like always, love and who that. We out, family. Talk to you later.